Hello, my name is Soggy Boy, and welcome back to another episode of Horrifying Creepypastas. Yes, I'm fucking alive, alright? And I know I haven't done one of these in God knows how long, so, yeah. Today, we're going to be reading Sesame Street, episode 666. That is literally as generic as it gets, but let's get reading. I began working at PBS back in 1971 for my new job. I got to watch new episodes of shows like Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers, and others. I had a super fun and awesome time until I quit my job in 1985. But quitting wasn't the worst part. The worst part was in 1974, me and 5 other interns named Henry, Joey, Sean, and Allison, and Sammy were ready to watch a new episode of Sesame Street. They expected it to be the first episode of season 6, but what we saw was very different from what was broadcasted, and I mean very. I don't want to go too far in the story because I was just, well, you know what though. Let's tell the full story. Okay, dickbag. Man, just how I could forget about this entire experience. The episode started, and we're ready to view it, but that's when things started to get odd. The first thing I noticed was the quality was horrible. It was in the 70s. It started off with Big Bird walking down the street to visit Oscar. For some reason, however, Oscar looked mad, like something horrible happened. Big Bird looked depressed as Oscar was yelling at him, even though he didn't do anything to anger him. I was confused by this scene, and I could tell that the other interns were thinking the same way I was. Then it cut to Elmo, or what it looked like a prototype of him, because this was before Elmo was a thing. He was like early 90s, okay, never mind, enough info. Sitting on a sofa. The strange thing was, Elmo didn't exist back in 1974. God damn it, I didn't need to explain it. And he wasn't a puppet. He was in a live costume, similar to Big Bird, with the performer inside him. Then he said something that shocked us. He said, "Listen up, all you, Elmo is about to mess Sesame Street up and make everyone Elmo's slaves. Elmo will hunt down and rape you all. Then Elmo will make you face a kiss of death. You must burn in hell." That voice hurts my jaw. The next scene made some kind of interns horrified. In the next shot, we saw Cookie Monster, except he was all red. Then he yelled, "Listen up, everyone! I'm about to kill my creator, Jim Henson." And he ended up doing just that. After killing Jim, he started eating him. Pulled out his brains, guts, heart, flesh, eyeballs, and other internal organs and ate all of them. It was disgusting. Then we saw Grover on an airplane. He had an empty beer bottle and a cell phone, which was odd because cell phones didn't exist back then. Grover suddenly got drunk and ran to the emergency exit. He opened the door and jumped out. He fell to the ground and died. When the next scene came up, it scared us horribly. It showed Big Bird being thrown off a cliff into the ocean by an unknown source that was with an anvil on his leg. He struggled to free himself from the anvil underwater for a minute and drowned. The next scene showed Ernie sitting in a chair. A noose was visible up above. Ernie was writing in a diary. It said, "Dear diary, my life sucks. At this point, my life sucks so badly that I have no other choice than to end it all. If my suicide affects anyone negatively, I apologize in advance. Lastly, I must thank all my family and friends for the support they have given me from my time here on Sesame Street. Goodbye, Ernie." He then hanged himself on the noose mentioned earlier. Bert then appeared. When he discovered the body of Ernie, he gave a blank expression. However, what he did next was just weird, yet appealing. Appalling, you fucking retard. He took down Ernie's corpse and ate his brain. I'm just picturing that. He took down Ernie's corpse and ate his brain. I don't know why he did this. I just don't. The credits were in Japanese. A distorted version of the music normally heard in Season 6 credits played. Then the episode finally ended. The other interns were shocked, some were pissed off. I was just speechless. We were then searching for the marker. We couldn't find whoever made it, but what happened next was scary. We saw Elmo, or more likely someone in an Elmo suit. Oddly enough, it was the same costume used in the episode, and he was insane and had a gun. He was coming for us while shouting, "Sesame Street is now over!" He shot his gun all over the place, and me and the other interns thankfully got away. The guy in the costume was actually a psychopath who kidnapped the producers to create the awful episode. Me and the other interns saw that on the news. The psycho got a life sentence in prison for murder charge unrelated to the episode. Everybody was relieved. Anyway, the reason why I quit was when in late 1985, the year Elmo had appeared in the modern form, I was just resting on the couch watching TV, but suddenly I heard a voice. It whispered, "Sesame Street is now over. Try to keep this interesting for Elmo." I looked back and what I saw was horrifying. What I saw was an Elmo plushie with blood, guts, and even bones on it. It had a knife in its hands and a gun on the other, and had a creepy grin, and its eyes were empty black holes. It also had a note which read, After some hours of trying to figure out what the note translated to, I discovered out what it meant. "You are the next victim. Elmo will hunt you down. Praise the devil. Someday I will be next." The end. So what did you think about this creepypasta? It was long, but I gotta admit, that was probably the best one I've read yet. To be honest, man. That shit was great. Alright, yeah, peace out.